Hello friends, Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck, and I gotta tell you, having a little bit of trouble. So last night I went and parked at the ranch, and right as I pulled up onto my parking spot, I looked down at the dash and I noticed the battery light was on, the little red positive minus battery sign, and that is something that basically never comes on. Unless your battery is bad or your alternator is bad or there's something wrong with your electrical system. So I went ahead and parked it and popped the hood, grabbed my voltmeter and checked it out. And with the vehicle running, the battery was at like 12.2 volts, which with the battery running, it should be well over 13, close to 14 volts. Well, not with the battery running, with the van running, with the alternator charging, it should be 13 to 14 volts. With the vehicle off, with a good battery and alternator, it should be like 12.8. So definitely low voltage. And I noticed as soon as I hit either the gas pedal or, the gas pedal to go forward or back, the battery light would go off. So that indicated to me that when I gassed it and gave it some RPMs, then the alternator would put out enough volts to turn the battery light off. So I believe the battery is bad. So I don't know what's going on, but I know I need to replace parts, and I know I don't have a lot of time because stuff's gonna start failing and I don't want to be stranded somewhere. So I am now at AutoZone. It is the next morning. I woke up and right away just packed up the van and drove into town. And so I'm now parked outside AutoZone. And so I'm going to go attempt to purchase an alternator and a battery. I haven't talked to them yet. I'm hoping they have an alternator and battery in stock. It's definitely a rainy day here in Central Texas. It's unseasonably wet. We've had a lot of rain this week and there's a lot more coming. So I'm hoping I can get these parts changed out before the rain comes. Because if not, that's gonna suck. All right, I got the alternator. This is the Duralast remanufactured alternator. It has a lifetime warranty, and it was a lot cheaper than the brand new one. So I went ahead and went with the remanufactured. And then here's the battery. It's just a Duralast, just kind of the basic Group 65 battery. This one had a 2-year warranty. So here's the AutoZone receipt. The alternator was $169. I have an $11 core, so I'll get refunded that when I return the old alternator. So $169 for a remanufactured alternator, not a bad price in my mind. So the battery was $189. The battery has only a 2-year warranty on it. Fortunately right now it is overcast, but it is not rainy. We had a pretty good rainstorm right after I bought the battery, but it's died off and the forecast is not calling for any more rain today. So hopefully it will hold off while I change these parts out. Here's my old battery. It's an Interstate. It's from 2019. So that's not terribly old. It's like 4 years old, a little less than 4 years, because that was from September. But anyway, I think it's bad, so we're gonna go ahead and change it out. And so the first thing we'll do is we'll take off the negative and the positive battery terminals, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull this air cover, this guy right here, this clip, this hose clamp, pull the air box out, and then that will give us access to the alternator, which is right down back there. Got my trusty Ace hardware tool set. I've had this thing since high school. My dad gave this to me when I had my first car, so I've been carrying it around for a long time. It's been a good set. So the first thing we want to do is find, let's see, I'm just going to take it over here. First thing we want to do is find what size bolts we need. So I think this is probably like an 8mm. Boom, look at that. Just guessed it, dude. So 8mm is the size for the airbox. And then let's see what we need for the terminals up here. That's not an 8, that might be a 10. 10mm is one of the most common size nuts, I think, on a car. That's it, 10mm. So 10mm will get us loose on there. It does not get us loose on that. That one's a different size, which is kind of funny. Let's see if that's an 8. That is an 8. Okay, so 8 on the negative, 10 on the positive, and then these are all 8s, so we'll take out those ones. And we'll go ahead and pull the screwdriver. 8. take out the negative first. Now make sure you don't touch metal between the positive and negative battery terminals, because that'll be a real bad time if you let that happen. That whole screwdriver would just start glowing orange real quick. All right, so we loosened that. We'll go ahead and pull this off. There we go, got the negative disconnected. And then we'll pull the positive, which is gonna be the 10 mil. Bam, go like this. There we go, it's already loose. Okay, let's see how that does. That's it, got it. Okay, and then there is this little guy in the back that holds the battery down in place. I'm guessing, I'm gonna go ahead and jump out on a limb and guess that's an 8 mil. Let's find out. It is an 8 mil, cool. So we'll go ahead and just loosen that. Wham, bam, bam. There it is. And this battery is missing the strap, so I'm gonna have to set the camera down to pull this battery out. All right, next move is pull off these 8 mil bolts. That one's loose. I'm gonna put these screws in my pocket. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put them down here in the battery tray. I'm gonna use this for my little parts storage. Okay, let's get this. Okay, so this one's stripped out, but what I was able to do is just pull this around it. See how this piece isn't a complete hole. Anyway, so I slid that out from underneath it, so it's free now. Pull that off. Pull this off. Pull this out of the way, like that. And might as well just unclip this, why not? Why not? There we go. Okay. Beautiful. So there we are. Look at that easy peasy alternator. Very nice. So now the next move is, if you look here, this is the 6.8 liter gas. So there's alternators right here, this little piece right here. So if you stick a 1/4 inch drive ratchet basically right into the front of the idler arm and then just pull on it, it'll release the tension, and then we can easily just pull the belt off. And then once we pull the belt off, this is our diagram of how everything reconnects back together. All right, so here's my 1/2 inch drive socket. We're gonna go ahead and stuff that, let's see, down in the front of this idler arm. Basically, you got it in, then you turn it, then look at the belt. The belt, see how it gets some slack in it? Like that. Now I'm gonna have to use my other hand. So I'll have to put the phone down, but I just wanted to show you guys. If you push the wrench to the right towards the driver's side of the rig, it'll loosen the belt, and then you can slip it off the alternator. All right, so belt's off. You can see it just kind of hanging down there. There it is right there. We'll inspect it in a little bit, but for now, we're gonna go ahead and pull off this alternator. I'm gonna try to hold it up and just make sure these two look like the same design. Here's the new one. You can see it's got the 2 bolt holes in the bottom, 2 holes in the bottom, and then it's got this 1 hole up on top, 1 hole up on top, and then it's got 1, 2, 3 connectors here, 1, 2, 3 in the back. So to me, it looks like looks like a properly matched unit. So the bolt on top is a 10 mil. Go ahead and loosen that guy up. And the 2 bolts on the front, I assume those are also probably 10 mil. Let's check it out. I'm gonna need a little extension for these. Yep, that's a 10 mil. So now I'm gonna hit this bolt here. You can see here from the new one, it's this bolt right here, and I tested it. It's a 10 mil. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen that guy. So now I'm gonna use this pick, this snap-on pick, to kind of pry this connector out and up, and that's going to be another two-hand job, but you get the idea. So I couldn't show you because I needed two hands, but I basically used the pick to pull this little lip up, the tab up, and then I used my other hand to just pull on the wire and it slid right out. Same for this connector. I just put my pick right between here and pulled on this tab and then slid the whole connector up with my hand. All right, old alternator is out. Here it is right here. Now we're gonna go ahead and drop in the new one, replace the bolts, and do the two bottom bolts, then the top bolt. New alternator in place, bolt up top, two bolts down front. We got the one wire, this guy up here, right here, that uses the 10 mil nut. And then these two clip-in harnesses are also secured in place. So the alternator is all connected. We just gotta pull the belt up over the pulley now. All right, so here it is. The belt goes around all the pulleys properly, according to the diagram. So we got the battery in place. We'll go ahead and slide this down like that. Boom. Two-hand job. Now we'll go ahead and connect the negative side. There it is. No big crazy spark. That was nice. Ugh. There we go. All right, negative post is on. Now we're gonna go ahead and drop this guy in. This guy goes in like that, and then this little lip connects down to the battery. Holds the battery down. That'll be something like that. And then this guy. Okay, that's all it. Pieces all back together. Got that screw tightened down. This guy snapped back in. Positive, negative attached. Now we're gonna go fire it up, check the voltage. So here it is. New alternator installed, new battery installed. And then we're gonna go look at the dash, and then we're gonna grab the voltmeter. If you look at the dash, no battery light. We're gonna get the voltmeter. Now I should have showed you guys before, but you can just take my word for it. The battery was only at 12.5. With the engine idling, with the car on, it was only at 12.5. Now what I think is going on is I think the actual alternator wasn't bad, but I think the voltage regulator was bad. I think that was the piece that was not allowing me to charge at idle. Okay, which the voltage regulator is a little box, the little box on the back of the alternator. So they all work together. Now let's see, let's put a negative here, and we're gonna look for about, oops, we wanna see about 14 volts. Let's see, go like that, go like this. And there we are, DC 14.15 volts. Now remember last time it was only 12.5 volts with the car idling. So that was the problem. The problem was actually a failed alternator. The problem was not the battery. Although I think the battery probably, you know, needed to be changed out anyway. So that was the solution. Brand new battery, brand new alternator, and now we're properly charging, no worries. And I think the next thing I'm gonna do, just for peace of mind, is replace the starter. Starter is another pretty cheap, pretty easy repair that can disable you pretty simply if you're caught without it, so with a bad one. So that's it.